Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome to another Raid Legends video. So yesterday's video, we had some comments going a little bit too crazy when I talked about the Doom Tower and the difficulty of the Doom Tower, and then maybe, okay, if you cannot do the Doom Tower, then maybe you should focus on many of the other areas within the game, improving those, and then come back to the Doom Tower and take it down. I had some of the comments saying, okay, Coldbrew, okay, I understand what you're saying, but at the stage where I'm at, I cannot even beat stage 10 of normal Doom Tower, and I cannot even do my advanced quest. We just say, okay, I understand that. I understand that it's difficult to even do stage 10 with this guy. It might be too difficult for you, but look at this team right here. If this team looks too difficult for you to build, then the issue is elsewhere on your account. The issue is with your gearing and how you gear each and every one of your champions. Your issue is with your great haul bonuses, and your issue is in general not having level 60 champions with masteries, and you're trying to take down even floor 10 of the normal Doom Tower, which I think it's gonna be very few cases that you won't even have, you know, a couple of 60s and trying to take down the floor 10. So this video, I'll explain all about how to gear your champions for the Doom Tower starting from normal. I'm not even gonna go into the hard version, but the normal. We're going to go through some of the gearing practices that you can follow in order to have greater success moving upwards within the Doom Tower, and especially against Bommal. And I'll show you exactly this team and how it works and why it works, most importantly. Okay, first things first, big thanks to Bobo because of what he does. Every single time we have releases of the Doom Tower, he releases this spreadsheet document, which is basically every single stage of the Doom Tower, going all the way to stage 120, plus the secret rooms, plus the hard version of the Doom Tower. And this is a spreadsheet of everything that the enemies have. So HP, defense, attack, speed, resistance, accuracy, critical rate, critical damage. Well, these I think they stay the same for everything. That being said, what you need to be focusing on, let's say, okay, you're having issues with Bommal at level 10. You go here to stage 10 and you're trying to find Bommal, okay? Here he is, Bommal the Dreadhorn. He has at stage 10, 247,000 health, 1,300 attack, 1,300 defense. Okay, whatever, right? His speed 130. Okay, if you're faster than that, then you'll go before the boss. If you're way faster than that, so let's say you're about 200s in speed, you'll be going way faster than that, going even higher than a 4:3 ratio. If you understand what that means. So taking 4 turns for every 3 turns the boss takes. So the higher speed you have compared to the enemy, the more turns you will be eventually taking against the enemy. Okay, his resistance is 50 and accuracy 100. So what does that mean? Resistance at 50, you'll need more than 50 accuracy at least for you to be able to land any debuffs. But as you guys know, for Bommal the Dreadhorn, we should not be applying any debuffs. So we don't really care about the accuracy for this one, but we'll care about the next part, the accuracy of the boss. So how much resistance we have. The boss has 100 accuracy here. So for us to be even considering resisting anything that the boss does, so the buff removal or the debuffs that he applies being HP burn and bombs, then we need to have more than 100 resistance. For this stage, a stage 10, I would say you would need at least 180 resistance to be comfortably resisting. Not a 100% chance to resist, but comfortably resisting. We're talking about a 75% chance to resist to 80%, close to there, depending on how much resist you have. But the higher you go, this chance goes to, even lower amounts. So with about 300 resistance, you have 3% chance to not resist anything that the boss does. But you don't need so much. As I said, 180 to 200 is more than enough for stage 10. That will be enough for you to actually do stage 10, beat Bommal, do your advanced quest, and that's it. If that's all that you were worried about, not really caring about moving way forward, you can apply this principle to every single stage of the Doom Tower that you're finding high difficulties with. Understand where the issue is, okay? Are your debuffs not applying? Are your enemies applying their own debuffs to your own team too much, and it's being detrimental to their survival basically, and everybody dies? Then yes, go back, improve your accuracy, being great haul, get some amulets, get some banners, get a resistance chest. But that's for more of the hard version of the Doom Tower, where the extreme resistance amounts are required. Okay, so for stage 10 and even going a little bit higher, the resistance requirements are about the same. So let's go to stage 30, let's say, for example, right here. So the Grythian has 50 accuracy. So if you go to stage 50, where the next Bommal will be for the normal Doom Tower, he is right here. So the next version of the Bommal will have 175 accuracy. So you'll definitely need more than that. I would say about 80 to 90 resistance higher than the amount stated there. So 175 plus 80, how much is that? Is that 255, 260, 270? You'll be comfortably resisting the enemy. But remember, this is stage 50. So a resistance lead will help a ton with this. It will just lighten the burden of your characters in terms of gearing. That's where the upgrades come into play in all of your gearing and Great Hall, okay? Just mentioning that again. That being said, that's how you tackle these bosses. Let's see what you can do for stage 10. I'm having this too easy to get characters, not as me saying, okay, go and get Aethel and Saurus. Saurus is nothing amazing. He's amazing for me because I've used him in videos in the past. As you guys might know, my highest ever watched video is with Saurus, okay? Because he was used to farm 12-3 of Brutal, and I used him as my campaign farmer for a long time when I first started into getting to content creation as well, okay? But I just use them as an example, and I'll show you the exact gear that I have on Saurus, and you might be surprised, okay? Before we have anyone in the comments saying,
oh, coldbrew, you have the Great Hall maxed out, you have 6-star gear on everything, of course you'll be able to do even floor 10 of normal.
I understand that. I know that my Great Hall is maxed out. That's not what I'll be showcasing right here. Let's go over to Saurus, and I'll show you the exact gear. So here's the gear for Saurus. Lifesteal and speed. Very easily doable sets. I understand that some of them are 6 stars. You can get a 6-star from stage 13 and higher of the Dragon, okay? Both sets are from the Dragon. You can even now craft the advanced versions of the Lifesteal set if you were farming the Doom Tower in the past. But if you're not, then yeah, there we go. Lifesteal sets and speed sets, very easy to get. Saurus is a good example here because he's an uncommon. Uncommons have lower base stats than every other champion in the game, except for common champions, which I'm not even going to mention. But uncommons such as Saurus have very low speed. Look at that, 83 speed. That's insanely low. I know. That's why I needed the speed set in there. I wanted his speed to be a little bit higher so he gets more turns. And the way that I've built the Saurus is nothing too crazy. I'm focusing more on defensive stats, being a defense % chest. I have a defense ring right there, and even you know, level 16 6-star defense shield. Okay, you don't need these to wear, but for this specific example where I'm using only 2 champions, these are kind of required. The speed is not really required to be 195. You can go with lower, but then you'll need more champions within the team, okay? What you will need, though, is what I've mentioned at the earlier part of this video, is the resistance. Look at the resistance. 211 resistance. That's, of course, greatly because of my Great Hall bonus. Plus 80 there, but I have a plus 100 from artifacts. There's no resistance artifact right here, but I have some resistance from my amulet here. It's a double rolled amulet and a 6-star. I understand that. Just go with a 5-star. Go with a rare version of this artifact accessory, and you'll still get a good amount of resistance. As I said, anything above 180 is acceptable. I went a little bit overboard with 211. I did have a critical damage amulet there, but my critical damage is not that crazy. I don't have critical damage gloves. I have critical rate gloves because I just want some damage, and masteries is something that everybody should have. I have no banner here, so if this was even a banner, a 4-star or a 5-star banner with resistance, then the requirement would be much lower to every single of your other pieces of gear. There's many other champions out there that provide a resistance aura to all battles. Namely, we can say Renegade is one of them that provides it. I think Seer has an all battles aura. There's many champions out there. Just look for them, and that's going to help you a little bit to mitigate that resistance requirement. You might have one of them sitting in the vault and you don't know it yet. Just look for the resistance icon right there on the top right, and you'll just check, okay, does it apply to Doom Tower or all battles? Then I can definitely use him. But what is needed is the lifesteal set also, because that's the way that Saurus heals. If you have a champion that specifically heals, then you can definitely use them instead. If you have champions from the dwarves faction, then that's much easier for you to utilize these champions. And pretty much every single one of the dwarves in this faction has higher base resistance than any other champion within the game. I'll give you an example. Let's go at Under Priest Brokney. Look at that base resist, 90 base resist. We go down to the epics. Rearguard Sergeant, look at that, 75 resist. We can even look at Gala. She's a void, 60 resist. Even the rares have a good amount of resist, if I remember correctly. There's a couple of rares that have very high resist. Which one was it? 45 here on Beast Wrestler. Just an example of me showcasing what these champions can do. Okay, we have this guy, Glorial Brutebane, a rare that gives a 30 resist aura, which means if you put them in the lead, doesn't matter if they die, they'll give you that bonus of 30 resist. You won't need to have so much resist within your gear. So the overall stats again of my Soras are these: 211 resistance, 195 in speed, 2000 defense, 2000 attack, and then of course masteries. You need War Master when you have a life steal set, and I went the defensive route just for him to survive a little bit more throughout. So let's go have a look at the boss right here and explain how this team works. It's not a team, it's just the one champion. Remember, we're building one of the champions needed for this setup to work. You don't need to build a full team with the same kind of resistance requirements, speed requirements, life steal set, and specific masteries. For this specific boss, only one on stage 10, remember, of the normal, only one champion is needed with those stats. That being said, the more you go up, the higher difficulty you go for, the more requirements are going to be for all your champions. If you're looking for a more consistent team, a farming team for Bommal, I'm not looking for that. Pretty sure I'll never be looking for that, since the other boss, Faye, is way more important for you guys to beat instead of this guy, because she gives the advanced version of the Savage set, so the lethal set, which gives some critical rate chance as well. So look at this. We go to the boss. Aethel will die. She doesn't have a life steal set. We don't mind about that, as long as Soras keeps above 80% health when the bombs explode. The bombs will not kill Soras. Still, we even get some debuffs on us, because remember, it's not a 100% chance to resist when you have that amount of resistance. He has 211. He still has a good amount of chance to get those debuffs on him. So look at that. He's beaten the boss. You can do your silver keys and get your advanced quest going. And once you progress through and go to the normal version of the Doom Tower to stage 20, you can farm that instead for the advanced quest, and you don't need to have him geared for the rest of the month. Okay, that specific champion, not talking about Soras, the champion that you decide to build with that 180 to 210 resistance in order to beat down the boss. So guys, this was the video. I wasn't trying to showcase Soras in any means as a way to take down this boss. This is just an example of the gearing of any champion out there that you wanna go for as a solo level 10 for the normal Doom Tower. Remember, all other stages have different requirements. That's the way that you build your characters. This specific boss has higher requirements than any of the other bosses we've seen before in terms of the resistance required by your champions, and in terms of not having accuracy, because if you do have accuracy and apply debuffs and you don't have high resistance, then you get bombs. It's a little bit of a mess. It's the very first few days of the Doom Tower. Of course, there's going to be some frustration, but remember, even level 10 of the normal Doom Tower is doable as long as you put some effort into regearing your characters to tackle this specific requirement, which is, okay, enough resistance so we don't get our buffs removed, and then enough life steals so we recover. But that recovery has to be, I would say, from attack-based champions, because those can hit the hardest and they can heal back up. There's some other defensive-based champions that can do this as well, which hit hard. I would say Shieldbreaker as a common example, or even Razin here. Razin, if I remember correctly, has a high base resistance as well. Not that high, I think it's about 50. So Razin, a champion available to pretty much everyone. Yeah, 50 resist right here. His aura unfortunately doesn't help for this Doom Tower. I would have loved if this was all battles. Increased resist by 90 would have been insane, but He has a great kit if you're looking to do some damage and him surviving. He has high base stats. He's available to most free-to-play players out there. You just have to stop his A3 from working on the boss. So just a small tip: if you are looking to tackle you're still looking to tackle the level 10 of the normal Doom Tower. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.